Oh my gosh.
Like attack. This is the shit like Olivia Munn used to do.
Yeah.
She needs to thicker hips more.
Oh my gosh.
God, they're so
that's-
pathetic.
Wow.
That's what the shit Olivia Munn used to do. Like that.
Yeah, all the time.
Yes.
But Olivia Munn was actually entertaining when she did it.
G4.
Oh my
Blair
gosh.
Herter. Blair Herter is a very, very anti-Trumper, and he's also an anti, if you didn't like what Frost said, don't watch G4. That was kind of his whole thing.
So Blair Herter, if you watch the old G4, Blair Herter was all over the place on a lot of different shows. And when they went to relaunch this new G4, which again, it's being used to relaunch G4, but it's also trying to be this big esports thing eventually. That's what like the ultimate goal of it is for esports coverage and a launching platform and things like that. Blair Herter was brought in almost as the face of this relaunch, as someone that people were familiar with. He's the vice president of the G4 brand. That's how he was brought in. And 6 months later, Blair Herter's now gone. Now, of course, in that 6 months, over the past 2 months, they've been dealing with the fallout from what Frost said. And like you said, Jeremy, Blair Herter was one of those people who said, I'm so proud to work with this woman. And if you don't hear what she's saying, then don't watch our content. Said it straight up. If you don't like it, don't buy it. Unfortunately for Blair Herter, people fucking listen to him. They unsubscribe. No one's been watching G4TV. And with what we saw, we were here talking a week or two ago, Jeremy, with this big message they put out, we're all in this together. We're changing our brands. We're flipping our schedule around. We're doing shifting things around. That had restructuring written all over it. And this is just another step. I've had a couple people, like several people, reach out and say the very same thing, that they're going in the middle of some restructuring and some people are just bailing. They're bailing from a sinking ship right now, and don't be surprised if you see more of this in the future. So
I mean,
they're done.
I don't know how many times these idiots have to do this. Like, what did we see with Battlefield years ago? Don't like it, don't buy it. You know, when they tried to, push their forced diversity into that. And guess what? You lost hundreds of millions of dollars on that. The G4 thing, like, it's just a disaster. This was something we were, all talking about. We've all made content about it, and it's all been funny to watch it all play out. It's such a brain dead type of approach. I don't think that they can come back. Does anybody here think that they can actually recover at this point?
No, they're done. They're fucking they entered into a market that was already being dominated, and they left a bad taste in everybody's mouth. So it was a recipe for disaster. I think that the whole like, all right, we're gonna focus on like YouTube and Twitch and all these other platforms that have really just a bunch of regular people dominating those platforms that are for the most part filming shit in their own fucking houses that are in the same exact space in gaming. You got people that are doing some really cool edits with the reviews and stuff. Like, so everything that they were doing in that or attempting to do, which was basically an overproduced version of what is already happening, it was always a bad model. Like, the only thing that they had on their behalf was the nostalgia of G4. Yep. It's a brand that's recognizable, and it's a brand that could potentially, you could see folks that you hadn't seen in a while be back in these spaces. Unfortunately, a lot of these people exposed themselves, so I don't think it was just a Frost situation. Adam Sessler became a fucking dickhead over the past years, and he had voiced it. You know what I mean? Like, so the person that we thought was cool turned out to be a fucking asshole. And thanks to Twitter and Instagram and all those things, these people have no problem telling on themselves. So they entered into a market. The Frost thing left a bad taste in everybody's mouth. So after entering into a market that they really didn't belong in, that shit is more so for like cable TV and shit. And it doesn't really transfer over that well in the space that we're in. They were fucking done. The minute Frost opened her fucking bug-tooth ass mouth, like, she was done. She was fucking done. The whole approach was bizarre to me. Like, it was like, all right, we're gonna put this known fucking feminist weird chick in front of everybody, and it's scripted, so they knew she was gonna go on that rant. I don't believe for once believe that everybody here was like totally just out of pocket, like they were like, oh, we didn't know that she was gonna fucking do that. I don't believe that shit at all. So that they even led with that, they immediately post a video to basically show we support this shit. I'm telling you, it was some blue-haired fucking weirdo that works for them. I was like, this is what the people want, and they found out the hard way that nah, bro, it's not. People don't want this fucking shit.
But even as like esports, they have no idea what they're talking about. To talk at something on an esports level, you have to be like a professional sports commentator. How many times do you watch actual esports and you see someone on there and they're like, oh, that was a good moment? I have no idea what's going on. For like example, if there was like a professional Halo tournament, they'd have no idea what they're talking about. They're not going to be able to talk about map control, power weapon control, plays for power weapons, shit like that. They're not going to know what that means. So how are they going to commentate that from an esports level, mate? These dickheads over at Geeks4TV, they don't know games. All they would rather do is talk about American politics because, believe it or not, video games are actually well fucking wide. So you just cut off the whole audience there. What does any of this have to do with video games, especially on a competitive level? Nothing. That's the answer. They're fucked.
I do think they're figuring out, though, what their audience wants. They're trying to make an adjustment. We saw the Amaranth situation, made a lot of videos on that. I was notified of this as well. This is over on G4's Instagram. This is Gina Darling here. She says, my career's in shambles. Well, maybe. This is now the type of content that G4 is going on about. After saying women are not, they don't exist to be easy on the eyes for you. You shouldn't be, sexualizing them, anything like this. Oh, you have Gina trying to force some meat in her mouth.
Oh my gosh.
Like attack. This is the shit like Olivia Munn used to do.
Yeah.
She needs to thicker hits more.
Oh my gosh.
God, they're so
that's-
pathetic.
Wow.
That's shit Olivia Munn used to do. Like that.
Yeah, all the time.
Yes.
But Olivia Munn was actually entertaining when she did it with the esports commentary and stuff. Frost was not popular then.
She was ran out of the League of Legends esports community.
They didn't like her. Like I can go
That's
back,
saying
you can
something.
go back and pull up the shit that they used to say about her in the Reddit threads, and nobody liked her then. G4 did this relaunch, bringing back Sessler, bringing back Kevin Pereira. They did it all in the good graces of their audience. This is what we used to be, and we want to give you what you used to love. Once you let Frost do that, you basically announced to everybody in the internet, this is not your G4 that you love.
Yeah, like that clip with Frost, that rant. If you heard, like, you could see it. You could see this is the definition of an echo chamber because she was getting all of the cheers. She had all the support, and you could see the energy. She felt like
I'm killing it.
grand
Knocking it out
slam.
the
This is
fucking
gonna
park.
like this is gonna
Slam
this is gonna
dunk.
be like she
Yeah.
was just all
She getting
that.
the thumbs
just
up
was
from
feeling-
Zipper.
Oh,
and
yeah.
All
Oh,
in the back,
man.
like fucking
Yeah.
rooting on and shit.
Oh yeah.
Tell 'em,
Oh
Frost.
yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like it was such a monumental disaster. And it's not just that rant. It's not. It's the mindset of everybody there. And the fact that someone came to, I guess Frost came with that idea, or maybe someone had it for her, and no one was there to go, guys.
This is a terrible idea.
This is-
We're about to everything that we tried to do is about to fucking crumb. You could see it in real time. Basically detonate this whole fucking company in a matter of however many minutes that she was fucking ranting on about shit nobody gave a motherfucker about.
Yep.
You got to look at the fact that, well, this shit is passing through how many chains of command before it actually gets put out. What the actual problem with modern entertainment is. I know there are people that are like, yeah, I don't want the politics involved in it at all. But if you had more balance, people have less of a problem with it. The fact that it's not heavily slanted, it's exclusively one way, where their line of thinking is the only acceptable line of thinking if you are going to be among their little mainstream ranks. It just makes for bad business. It's only one acceptable line of thinking. If there was more balance, people would have far less of a fucking problem. Like, but they don't depict a libertarian or conservative like or set of ethics in a positive like manner. They don't do that. It's only one side of thinking. Every fucking month is whatever fucking is the flavor of the social justice left, and they fucking will use their brand to promote that shit. Meanwhile, they'll tell, or rather their members will tell people that are on the opposite end of that conversation to go fuck themselves. You suck. I hate you. I guess that maybe works for people that have been around because they still have the nostalgia, but G4, dog, you just trying to come back on the scene. That was a bad play, man. It was just a fucking bad move.
Whether every single person there is aligned in the same way or not, or believes the same thing or not, nobody stood up and said, you know what, that's pretty fucked up what she said. You know, Frost can have her take, but, you know, all you guys are welcome here, that kind of thing.
Right.
You know what? I might not like Donald Trump. I might not have voted for Donald Trump. But you know what? If you did, it's still cool if you watch this channel. Everybody's welcome here. None of that. It was just full pedal to the metal. And some people were probably just silent and didn't say anything. And this is what you fucking get.